Hi, my name is Dan. I'm a video gaming addict. I quit playing video games about 100 days ago. I probably made my first video probably 130 days ago or so, where I kind of showed that I was a Runescape video gaming addict, and I was at the time actively playing. Like I said, I haven't played in 100 days now. And I just want to share my thoughts and advice on quitting video games while it's still fresh in my mind. First off, let's talk about how my life has changed since quitting video games. I also want to make a disclaimer that just because you have not played as much as me doesn't mean you're not a video gaming addict. In the same way that a 2-pack a day smoker doesn't think he's an addict because he knows a 3-pack a day smoker, or you could substitute that with alcohol or drugs, whatever, gambling, whatever. Since quitting, I've got a lot more mental clarity, I have to say. When I was playing video games, I constantly felt this brain fog to the point I was worried I might have some sort of disease or something. I do stupid things like forget my credit card at the drive-thru at McDonald's. I think I actually did that twice. Now that I quit, I find it so much easier to remember things. That the brain fog is still there a little bit, but not as much as it used to be. Even my speech, I'm not saying as much. I'm able to get my ideas across in a more comprehensible manner. I got better at my job too. I saw about a 250% increase in my performance the first month I was off video games. But keep in mind, I was playing 16 hours a day, so your results may vary with that if you're not playing as much as I was. And I would multitask while playing video games, doing my job, and I would wind up making a job that would take 5 minutes, take half hour. I would neglect to do it. Video games was neutral for me. That was just became the norm. It was by default. If I wasn't doing something, video games became the default. And since I quit too, I began taking better care of myself. When I played video games, I often neglected things like eating, showering, and brushing my teeth because I saw them as somewhat of an interruption. And I didn't want to get logged out from my video game, so I just rushed to do these things. I'd rush to go brush my teeth or something, or I wouldn't brush my teeth at all. When I make food, I'd make some junk, like macaroni and cheese in a little microwave thing, eating that every day or not eating stuff at all, drinking soda. I was drinking 5-6 Coca-Colas a day while I was playing video games. It kind of the wake-up call for me too with that. I wound up getting 2 root canals from my diet with video games. And once you get something like that, that's, for one, it's very painful, and two, it's just, you're never getting the normal tooth back. It sucks. And I also, after playing video games, I try and focus on moving forward in my life. It's pretty hard to move forward with your life when you're playing video games. And you may not even realize it at the time, but once you quit, it just becomes so much easier to focus on meaningful things because you have so much more time and you're not just being weighed down by video games all day. And I was playing Runescape 16 hours a day. It's hard to do other stuff. Literally, I was playing Runescape as my main thing in my life. Everything else was pretty much complementary. Nothing else really mattered to me. I still got stuff done. I still took care of what I needed to do. Still did some pretty smart things for being 22. And it was just weighing me down. It was slowing me down, just keeping me from reaching my full potential. And that's why I quit. Like I said, I've done smart stuff. I'm probably, all things considered, more successful than your average 22, 23, 30-year-old at my age playing all those video games. But I recognize that I could do better. I'm capable of more. I can do more. And I need to do more because that's just my fuel in life is continually progressing in all areas of my life, mentally, physically, financially. Because if I'm not growing, I'm dying. Another area that's really helped me is procrastination. When I played video games, I was procrastinating everything, just the pettiest things. I'd get an email, let's say from school or something, and it'd say like, you need to fill this out by tonight. Like, it would take 5 minutes to do, and I would just put it off to the last minute, then sometimes forget and come up with some stupid excuse why I didn't do it. And that brings me to another thing with video games. You'll oftentimes find yourself making excuses that you wind up believing, but they're not true. That's I hear a lot of video gaming addicts say, once I get off of video games, wow, I was kind of lying to myself. I used to say I was like a hardworking individual. I wasn't no hardworking individual. Now I see that after getting off of video games. Now I'm working 2 jobs, and I think I could still do more. I mean, I was working a half a job when I was playing video games, and I thought I was one of the most hardworking people out there. You know, video gaming, it messes with your mind. You don't realize what normal is until you're off of it for a while. But my advice for people who want to quit or recently quit playing video games, first off, don't try and quit multiple things at once. That's a mistake I made trying to quit. Quitting video games is hard. When you quit a lot of stuff at once, it becomes too much and you're just going to wind up relapsing. I did that in the past. It did not work out for me. I thought I could just wake up and eat well, sleep well, be super productive during the day. Like, these things take time. Just focus on trying to get off of video games. Don't try and correct everything else in your life right away. You may be able to get 1 or 2 more things with video games, but video games has to be like your main priority. Because when you spread yourself thin like that, it's much less apt it's going to work for you. My first 3 months or so, I was really into sugar. You'll often find that you're substituting your addiction to video games with something else. Like, let's say sugar, YouTube. A lot of people I hear compulsively watching YouTube. I still kind of struggle with that a little bit. Watching videos online. Stay away from gaming videos, but I see some people will do that. What also helped me to quit video games is joining a group like Computer Gaming Addicts Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous. InTheRooms.com is a really helpful website I found. Is just to understand the mind of addiction, listen to other people with addiction. I see a lot of people say, I don't know that I'm an addict. Just go anyway. You might be trapped in that addict mindset, because I didn't think I was a video gaming addict either. And then one day I look back, it's like, holy shit, I'm a video gaming addict. 16 hours a day, I didn't think I was a video gaming addict, because I was doing stuff, and I was still getting stuff done in my life, but I was not doing well now that I look back at it. I could have done way better. I wasted probably 18 to 22, just completely wasted it. Literally accomplished almost nothing during that time. Completely wasted time. I don't want the next coming years to be like that, and that's why I quit playing video games. I hope this next coming year, on my birthday soon, I hope it's going to be my best year ever. I know it'll be my best year ever because I'm going to make the effort to make it happen. More advice. Reset your computer. Clear your browser history completely. Reset your phone. Because when you have all these things that have to make you relapse, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Because then you're going to type something in one day. You're going to go, let's say, for my case, Runescape. I'm going to go type in H or something that begins with H in the browser, and it's going to high scores for Runescape, and I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to be going to the home page, reading something on the home page. I'm going to see something, oh, this is cool, and then I'm going to wind up relapsing. Or at least I run the risk of it. It's just not worth risking this stuff. Why put the risk out there? Same with watching YouTube videos. People will quit and try and watch YouTube videos of gaming. You're flirting with playing video games. You're feeding your addiction. You run the risk of, seeing that nostalgia and relapsing. Delete all your video game accounts. That's what I did. Some of them you can't, like they don't have a way you're able to do that, but change the password to something you can't remember, make it so you can't access the account, delete the email, change the password of the email. Uh, get rid of your councils. Get rid of anything that's going to make you relapse. And a lot of people will associate like, oh, but it costs money. I paid money for this. Your $300 Xbox is you run the risk of your $300 Xbox costing you $30,000 over the course of a year in lost wages, lost experiences. Which one's worse? Smashing a $300 Xbox or losing $30,000 in lost wages and lost experiences in the next year's time? Those people think it's crazy to say something like smash it. Like the risk of just not doing that, man, that's something I wish I could really get across to my old addict self. I would try and like salvage the account or sell the account, and then I just wind up playing video games again. Just delete it. Just like literally right now, just go and delete it. That would be the best advice. Everything. Anything that potentially makes you want to relapse. Like you can't, there's this sunk cost fallacy where you have so much time invested into it, so you think it's worth something. But at the other side of the coin, if you continue to keep it, it's just going to continually drag you down. It's going to keep you from getting to where you want to get to. Further advice I have, develop a positive, optimistic outlook on life. I see a lot of people just really online posting a lot of negative things about themselves and about what they look at the future to be. Like things look grim. Sometimes I've felt things look grim, but I've always felt like you can change things for yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. You're just able to change so much nowadays, and you're able to change more and more as time goes on. There's so many options from, diseases people have nowadays that just are no longer a thing, like polio. They came up with a cure for polio. There's so much that's changing. There's so many opportunities to change. And something that's really personally helped me is going for walks and listening to self-development motivational videos. I really like Jim Rohn, Les Brown, and Alan Watts. Those are just a few that came to mind. And it also really helps me to listen to positive music. Just be around positive people. Subscribe, even if you don't have them in your life. I'll be honest, I don't have positive people in my life. My friends aren't positive. A lot of my friends are losers. So I don't even have really any friends because of that. Like they're addicts. I can't be, some of them are drug addicts. Like I just can't be around it. I'm surrounded with, pretty negative people. But it really helps me just to be on like YouTube and stuff. Subscribe to positive people. It doesn't matter like what they're doing, just positive, like happy people who that's infectious. It rubs off on you. It also helps to listen to positive music. I don't really listen to positive music anymore. Like, I used to listen to like rock and stuff, like when I'd work out and whatnot. And it just brings you down, like subliminally, like it's like, it makes you angry. It kind of makes your blood pressure go up. And now I just try and listen to all positive music, and there's positive music in all genres. Rap, for example. One Man Can Change the World by Big Sean, I think. It's an example of positive music within that genre. It's talking about one man can change the world. What is it? Well, anyways, there's just, there's so many examples. And I see people listen to like depressive music, like Alice in Chains or something. That is so depressive to me. I used to listen to it too, but just looking back on it now, it just talks about like really negative stuff, and it just brings you down mentally. I feel like physically drained after I listen to it. Another thing that's really helped me is to keep a weekly or bi-weekly log. I don't know how I could get this across to my addict self before I quit playing video games, but it's been so helpful just to make these YouTube videos. Why? Because I have to look at myself, and when I make these videos, I have to make it in a comprehensible way that comes across. Like, I'll have a revelation just making the videos, like, wow, we didn't do anything the last 2 weeks. I think it's time we need to make some big changes. That's why recently I got another job. just to keep myself occupied for the social aspect of it and all that. And it's really helped me out because now I don't have time to play video games, and I don't want the time to play video games. I want to stay busy. And also, it deals with the anxiety. I made a video about like anxiety. You know, when I put myself on camera like this, my face is right here. I put it on the internet. It's not the same as when I just type something out and I get to be anonymous. I'm really addressing it. I'm really looking myself in the eye right now and just kind of having a sit down with myself. And when I make these videos, I feel way less anxious. It's like a weight lifted off of me. Because a lot of us struggle with anxiety because you're kind of isolated playing video games. You don't have the social experiences. And I don't look at myself as having anxiety as some like disease. Like a lot of people look at it as like a disease you need drugs for or something. I look at it as something just that I haven't worked on. I need to work on it more, and I will work on it more, and I can get better at it. Just making these videos, my anxiety is less and less every time I make these videos. What if somebody sees me? Well, what if I don't make videos because I'm afraid somebody I know sees them and I never get better? Like, there's a risk to not doing things, and I wish I would have known that sooner. When I was a kid, I used to play basketball, and I was always afraid to make the shots. But the thing is, you miss all the shots you don't take. Like, you lose by default, so you might as well try. And my final piece of advice for someone struggling with video gaming addiction: take massive action. From what I see, a lot of people, including myself, have taken small actions and expect big changes. I made big changes to quit video games and stay off. It made me very uncomfortable making these YouTube videos in the past, and still, at the beginning, makes me very uncomfortable. It's embarrassing to make YouTube videos with your face and then talking about your problems. But guess what? If I didn't do it, I'd probably still be playing video games. I took massive action to make the change and to make it happen for myself. And the bigger actions I take in the right directions, the bigger results I get. I'm getting ready now to make more, big actions, because when I make those big actions, it gives me fuel. I feel excited because I know I'm moving in the right direction. And oftentimes, I found myself, after quitting video games when I relapsed the first time, trying to make little changes, thinking they would matter. Like, I think I could clean my room or something, and somehow I'd become better. I was kind of flirting with the idea of it, but I didn't take big actions to make things happen for myself. A big action could be moving out of your house that you live in, moving somewhere else. Let's see, getting a job, even if you don't need a job. I didn't need a job. I'm paying all my bills with my job, and I got another job because I needed the social aspect of it. It's a really good workout for me. I didn't need it for the money. I needed it to stay off video games. I gotta stay busy. And it helped me with so many other areas of my life. Just when you make one right step, it can lay the foundation for all the other steps. Like, I was struggling for gaining weight for a long time. Then I got a job that was very active, and it really increased my appetite. So now I want to eat a lot more, and now I'm gaining weight. Like, I struggled for the longest time with that. But then I made one big decision in the right direction, and it became easy for me. Easier, not easy. Anyways, that's the advice I have. I hope it's able to help you somewhat. Thanks.